You're watching Rurouni K95's anime review on Jin Roh the Wolf Brigade. Hi Ruronis, this is your pal Rurouni K95 here, and today's anime review, we get to cover an anime movie, which is primarily directed by Hiroyuki Okiura, which is particularly written by Mamoru Oshii, which is, for today's anime review, is Jin Roh the Wolf Brigade. Jin Roh the Wolf Brigade is under the original Japanese title Jin Roh, literally translated as werewolf, also known as Jin Roh the Wolf Brigade in its American release. Is a 1999 Japanese action political thriller anime film directed by Hiroyuki Okiura and written by Mamoru Oshii. Jin Roh is the third film in Oshii's Kaberos saga and is primarily based on Mamoru Oshii's manga, which is particularly Kaberos Panzer Cop. So the film follows Kazuki Fusei, a member of the Special Police Unit set during an alternate history of the 1950s Japanese riots, failing to follow in order to execute a frightened young girl only to see her commit suicide by detaining an improvised explosive device. Before his very eyes, Fuse is put on trial and sent back to the training camp for free re-evaluation. Yep. Visiting the grave of the suicide, he meets Kay, the girl's sister, who does not hold him responsible for her demise. The film proceeds as the two develop as a peculiar relationship as well. We'll get to more about the release anyways in just a moment. So let's review this anime movie. Let's begin. Yeah. The story is set in an alternate history Japan in the 1950s, following the atomic bombing and subsequent occupation of the country at the end of World War II. At the post-war recovery, it focuses on Kazuki Fusei, a member of the elite Caballeros Panzer Corps, a metropolitan and counter-terrorism unit. Fuse confronts his own humanity when he fails to shoot a young terrorist who they trap in the storm water tunnels. She detonates the bomb in front of him, but only kills herself. The incident damages the reputation of the unit, and Fuse is imprimated. He visits the ashes of the dead girl and meets Kei Amemiya, who claims to be the elder sister of the terrorist, and they develop a friendship. Kei is eventually revealed not to be the suicide bomber's sister, but a former bomb courier, Oicurid, into acting on behalf of the special unit's rival division, Public Security. A trap is set by the Capitol Police in the Public Security Division, intended to discredit the special unit, with Kei as a bait to catch Fuse, intending to show a terrorist passing a satchel bomb to a member of the Panzers. However, Fuse sneaks in, seizes Kay, neutralizes the Capitol Police agents, and they escape. Later reveals her role in the depiction and suggests they leave together, but Fuse decides to stay as well at this point. Speaking of which, they make their way to the tunnels once more, where they are met by the members of the Wolf Brigade, a secret deep cover unit in the Caballeros Corps led by Hajime Handa. They provide Fuse with a full set of armor and weaponry. Before leaving with Kei in tow, Handa explains to Kei that the Wolf Brigade has used the Public Security Division's plan to flush out those who were most active in trying to eliminate the Caballeros Corps and eliminate them in turn. Public security agents follow a tracking device in Kei's bag and making their way into the tunnels. They encounter the fully armored Fuse, who slaughters them all in the process. Later, the Wolf Brigade meet in a junkyard, and Fuse is ordered to kill Kei to ensure she is never recaptured by the public security. Kei embraces Fuse and sadly recites the dialogue of Little Red Riding Hood, which is particularly the old story from, most significantly, which is an old fairy tale. Which is what you see in the anime movie Jin Roh the Wolf Brigade, describing the grotesque appearance of the wolf disguised as the loved one. Fuse is distraught but kills Kay anyway, and Fuse is, even though horrified, has no other choice but to continue staying in the pack. The old sergeant solemnly compares Kay's fate to the demise of Little Red Riding Hood and the triumph of the wolf, and as you noticed, if you will. And that's my anime review on Jin Roh the Wolf Brigade. Yep, because this is your typical anime movie, which is particularly because I noticed it has. So also for the release on Jin Roh the Wolf Brigade, however, the film premiered on November 17th, 1999 in France, and Bandai Entertainment and Viz Media licensed the film for an English language release in North America and in Europe. It has been relicensed for a Blu-ray DVD in North America by Discotek Media, which Discotek Media later released on double feature DVD on April 29th, 2014, alongside Amazing Nuts, Unico, and Mazinger Z, which ironically Unico is made by Osamu Tezuka, and Mazinger Z is basically Go Nagai as well. So, the anime movie Jin Roh the Wolf Brigade, however, it was written by Mamoru Oshii, who was the creator on Ghost in the Shell, and it was also directed by, most significantly, Hiroyuki Okiura, who worked as a key animator on, most significantly, Akira, Metropolis, Cowboy Bebop the movie, as well as other anime he has worked on, such as Venus Wars and other anime, particularly, as well as Rojin Z Memories, as well as Blood the Last Vampire. Speaking of which, because I noticed that Jin Roh the Wolf Brigade, and particularly, it was directed by the key animator who worked on Akira, which is Hiroyuki Okiura, and it was written by Mamoru Oshii, who worked on Ghost in the Shell. Because I noticed that, particularly, speaking of which, because I noticed that Ghost in the Shell, Akira, they were featured on Anime Abandon, which Bennett the Sage reviews anime as well. So anyways, for the thing about Jin Roh the Wolf Brigade, however, Mamoru Oshii had wanted to do what ultimately became Jin Roh several years prior. It was originally planned to be the third and final live-action feature film in the process, but of the Kerberos trilogy, but its in production wasn't possible until 1994, while Oshii was already working on Ghost in the Shell, as the filmmaker wasn't able to produce two films at the same time as well, but didn't want someone else to direct his final episode. Oshii decided that the third episode would be an anime instead as well. So the project was originally pitched as a 6-episode OVA, as he knew Bandai Visual was interested in having him to do a series for them, and his original Kerberos Panzer Cop manga was formed by 6 chapters, as he proposed in the project to Bandai Visual at a meeting. They instead asking him to direct Ghost in the Shell, which I've already looked back on my previous anime review on Ghost in the Shell and Akira, because you guessed it, because Ghost in the Shell and Akira, they were featured on Anime Abandon, which Bennett the Sage reviews anime as well. But green-lighted the series for pre-production. The production eventually evolved into a feature film at this point, following the international success of Ghost in the Shell, as Manga Entertainment wanted similar hit and saw potential in Kerberos Panzer Corps, as the manga has been published in the United States. After recently giving up the directorial role, Oshii originally thought on patlabor to the movie animation director Kazuchika Kase, but he has no interest in chief direction at the time. He then committed Jin Roh as a debut film to a trusted young collaborator, which is Most significantly, Hiroyuki Okiura. He worked on the animation movies such as Ghost in the Shell as a character designer and Pat Labor 2, the movie. Oshii considered him the most able candidate among the younger staff of the studio, and both production IG and Bandai Visual, knowing about his directing ambitions and his interests in creating a serious drama, wanted him to do his debut for them. Oshii begged to at least be entrusted with the screenplay. The prospect working with Okiura, changing his previous reluctance about merely writing films at this point. This wasn't originally in Bandai's plans for the film, but Oshii expected Kazunori Ito, his usual screenwriter, to reject their offer, as he had previously told him that he didn't want to write the story involving dogs following his work for Jin Roh live-action prequel, The Red Spectacles. And after he did so, he was offered the role. He ultimately still found the experience frustrating, both through the tipping, the moment you write, you want to direct at this point. And after realizing the result would unavoidably be much more different from what he pictured in his head, lacking any creative control in the process, to choose distance himself from the animation production while looking forward to the final product as well. Okiura favored traditional animation, and thus the film was almost completely drawn by hand, requiring 80,000 cells at this probably part of his work as well to create Jin Roh, the Wolf Brigade as well. Oshii, who characterized him as allergic to computers, he admitted that he directed the film would have relied on in computer animation just as he did in Ghost in the Shell, and no more 30,000 cells would have been needed at this point. Still, the cell work was subsequently processed through the Animo software in order to enhance some visual effects, textures, and camera work. So the film's musical score was composed by Hajime Mizoguchi. Jin Roh was first seen in the early 1999 film festival circuit, including the 49th Berlinale at the 19th Fantasporto in February as well. It was subsequently shown in Cannes' Marché du Film, which presumably netted its early French theatrical release on November 17th. The Japanese preview of the film took place on June 19th at the Roppongi 20th Century Films Theater as well. So, the reception as an early comment on the film is given by Blue Sky's animator Andre Mazzone. Was shown the film in May 1999 as a part of the delegation from the film studio to Production IG's headquarters. He praised it for its beauty of its animation and character designs, and the subtitle and crafty twists in the story, and committed that the differing approaches to production meant directors were freed from needing to appeal to a wide target audience and allowed to have a much greater creative control than in Hollywood animated features. Favoring the sophisticated productions anime was known for as well. Helen McCarthy in 500 Essential Anime Movies called the anime a must-see and praised the score and the design, commenting on some breathtakingly composed scenes for this particular anime movie, like Jin Roh, the Wolf Brigade. Besides, my anime review on Jin Roh, the Wolf Brigade is getting a lot better than my movie review on Man on the Moon, which it all has got to me, I guess. So that's going to be it for my anime review on Jin Roh, the Wolf Brigade for today's anime review. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's my thoughts on this anime movie. When I first watched this movie, I really admire this movie because I loved it, because it was directed by the guy who works as a key animator on Akira, because it's been a while since I watched this movie. If you haven't seen it, check this anime movie out. Hope subscribe for content. My anime planet link in the description down below. You share this video on your Twitter, Facebook. If you have Twitter, Facebook account, and all social media, be sure to give this video a thumbs up by clicking on the like button on this video. Feel free to leave in the comments section below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, RoniK95. Feel free to join my channel, especially new on my channel. Hit the notifications bell button. Keep it otaku for this anime review, and I got another anime review coming up next. What I have here. Stay tuned for my next anime review. I got an anime movie directed by Mamoru Oshii that I'll cover for tomorrow's anime review on the Skycrawlers. Stay tuned for my next anime review on the Skycrawlers, because you won't want to miss another anime review.